You know what the police need more than anything else? They need money for training. And the way the police departments are set up, they do the most ridiculously minuscule amount of training for what their job is. So,
absolutely,
as I was in the SEAL teams, we would train for 18 months. 18 months we would train to go on a 6-month deployment. Cops, they get like 2 hours or 4 hours of combatives training a year.
If that.
A year. That's complete insanity. It's complete insanity. The thing I've been saying is cops should train 1/5 of the time. 1/5 of the time you should be training, whether it's 2 hours a day, 4 times a week, or whether it's 1 day a week, where you're going to go and you're going to go through scenarios. You're going to do combatives. You're going to work with simunition. You're going to do de-escalation drills. Because it's really hard. I mean, being a cop I think is the hardest job in the world.
Welcome back, everybody. As many of you guys know, I'm a law enforcement trainer and instructor. I train and instruct law enforcement and military all across the nation on various law enforcement disciplines to include constitutional law, case law, patrol tactics, investigations, etc. And so let's talk about what Jocko Willink's talking about here. We're talking about training. This was on the Joe Rogan Experience, and Jocko Willink really hits it on the head here. Obviously, he is no stranger to training. He is no stranger to high-level training, and especially training that has a military, first responder, law enforcement type disciplines. And so, what he says about resources for training, he's absolutely correct. Bigger agencies may can afford better training programs, but your average police officer all over the nation that are part of smaller mid-sized departments or rural departments, they don't have the kind of funding that many people think that they do for training. And so that's hard, because when you don't have the ability to pay for quality training, you're not going to get quality training. That's just what it comes down to it. And these trainings truly do save the lives of law enforcement, but more importantly, they also help save the lives of the people that they're trying to serve and protect. So that's a big issue. Another issue is just access to training, right? A lot of people think that there's just all this training out there and all the cops have to do is go to it. And when in reality, that's not truly the case. So let's just take a look at Oklahoma. As many of you guys know, Oklahoma is one of the states that I am certified in. And it's one of the states that I train in. So I just want to give you guys just an honest perspective. I'm going to give you guys an honest look. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. This may surprise you, and I hope it does, because I hope that we can, at least be on the same sheet of music, and you can understand what your average Oklahoma law enforcement officer goes through. So let's take a look at what the training requirements are for the state of Oklahoma. So as you can see, I had this on the screen for you. I went ahead and pulled the Oklahoma State statute, which can be found directly on the CLEAT website. 70 OS 3311.4 states that every full-time certified police officer must complete a minimum of 25 continuing education hours, with a minimum of 2 hours for mental health continuing education. And then for reserves, it's 8 hours, and then 1 hour of mandatory minimum continuing education for mental health. And so if we compare this standard to the Jocko Willink standard, you're going to see the state of Oklahoma's requirements are significantly lower. So if a police officer must work at least 40 hours a week in order to be considered full-time, you multiply that by 56 weeks out of the year. So 40 times 56 will put you at approximately 2,240 hours a year. So if you take 25 of that, how many hours is that total? Well, that's 1.1% of your entire training time is for your continuing education. So of all the hours you worked, if you just follow the Oklahoma standard, that's 1.1%. So if we were to look at this at a fifth, what would be a fifth of your training hours that we require? It's going to be around 448, so right around 450 hours. If a police officer working his bare minimum of 40 hours a week, that would be 450 hours of training he would have to complete if he wanted to train 1/5 of the time. And so as you can see, the standards here in the state of Oklahoma compared to the Jocko Willink standard is significantly lower. And for many people, myself included, I think 1.1% of your entire time training as a standard, as a state standard, is extremely low. But you'd be surprised how many people fail to meet that every year. You'd be surprised how many people have a hard time just getting their minimum 25 continuing education hours. As crazy as that sounds, it happens, and it happens every year. And so we got that. Now let's just look at, since the video was talking about defensive tactics, let's look at defensive tactic training availability here in the state of Oklahoma. So as you can see here, I have it on your screen, the state of Oklahoma has a total of 2 defensive tactics training courses that are advertised for the fiscal year of 2025. No, you're not hearing that wrong. Do not believe your lying eyes. I will leave a link in the description box below. Not that you care, not that you're actually going to look at it, but in the state of Oklahoma, as of right now, February 2nd, 2025, there are only 2 defensive tactics courses that are listed, CLEAT certified courses that are listed on the CLEAT website for the entire state. And the way it's looked, as you can kind of see here, it's broken down by areas, and you can click individual cities and see what entire cities have available for training. And I have scoured through every single one of them. There's a total of 90, I believe, or so uploaded. Of those, there are only 2 defensive tactics courses, and the one you're currently looking at is the one that is being hosted out of the academy in Ada, Oklahoma. That is where the police academy is, and as you can see, it starts April 8th on a Tuesday, and I do believe it goes until May 2nd. So it's almost a month long, but it's defensive tactics instructor course, meaning that your rank and file police officer cannot go to it. This course is only for police instructors that are already certified. So you already have to be a certified instructor to even go to this course. That means that you're cutting out a wide range. Most police officers, what I'm saying is most police officers in the state of Oklahoma are not eligible to go to this course because they're not instructors. So just keep that in mind. Plus, it's a month long. The other one you'll see here is out of the city of Edmond. Edmond is a nicer suburb. It's a nicer community here in the state of Oklahoma, north of Oklahoma City. And they do have a Gracie law enforcement instructor course, and they also have it's also an initial order recertification course, and that starts Tuesday, October 7th. So currently the only available defensive tactics training course that is available for just the general public of officers, right? So it's available for your rank and file police officers, isn't happening until October 2nd. And again, this one is a week-long course, and it costs $850. Again, I've taken the Gracie course. It is a great course. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great course. But it is expensive. It does cost a lot of money, and this is the only one for the state of Oklahoma. So as you can see here, according to what we have on the CLEAT website, what is available, and the CLEAT website is a portal website. So this is where I go to, if I'm doing anything training in the state of Oklahoma, I will go to the CLEAT website to do updates. It is truly a portal program. Every police officer can go to the CLEAT website and upload and update their training jackets, training records. And so this is an all-encompassing course. Portal, and it's an all-encompassing website. And there's only 2 courses, 2 defensive tactics courses. So when Jocko Willink is literally saying that police officers maybe get 2 or 4 hours of defensive tactics training a year, if they're lucky. That's just being honest with you, if they're lucky. And police officers by the state of Oklahoma, as we talked about, are only required to train 1.1% of the time. And so again, if we're looking at this from a brass tack standpoint, you may not know this, but this is the state of affairs of training for law enforcement here in modern day 2025, at least as it relates to, the state of Oklahoma. So why am I sharing this with you? Well, I think it's important that people know the truth, right? There's a lot of things about law enforcement that people don't know. And I think that it's important that somebody somewhere at some time, we have to bridge the understanding gap that there is between law enforcement and the everyday citizen. And without bridging that gap and without presenting truth and transparency, I don't see how we're ever going to fix a lot of the issues that people have with law enforcement. And there's no way to make law enforcement better if we're not transparent about it. And so my goal and my desire is just to be honest. It's just to show you the honest state of affairs as they are. and let the chips fall where they may. Because I'm not here to change your opinion on law enforcement. I'm not here to change anybody's opinion on law enforcement. My only job is bring you the reality of the situation, be honest and forthcoming, and again, let the chips fall where they may. But at the end of the day, there's no doubt that we have a issue in law enforcement with training, and a lot of comes down to a lot of factors. It comes down to resources, training availability, training quality, state requirements, local politics at the PD or sheriff's office level, at the agency level. There's politics that go on there, and then your actual officer, the rank and file officer. And so there's so many different factors. There's so many different elements to this. So again, I do this to present transparency and just to bring you the truth. And again, and hope that by collaborating together, we can form a better solution. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you guys liked it, please like, share, subscribe. Leave me any questions that you have in the comment section below. And as always, guys, long live the Republic.